Good evening, and welcome to Cross Currents, our weekly forum for robust discussion. Tonight, we delve into a provocative question. Should millionaires be required to donate a fixed amount to charity annually? Arguing for this proposal is ethicist Dr. Ethan Miller, and opposing it is financial analyst Ms. Olivia Hayes. Welcome to you both. We'll begin with opening statements, followed by rebuttals, a moderated discussion, and conclude with closing remarks from our guests.
Thank you, Sarah. I contend that individuals who have accumulated substantial wealth possess a clear moral obligation to contribute a defined portion of their assets to societal betterment. This isn't about penalizing success, but acknowledging the societal structures that enable such wealth accumulation. The growing gap between the ultra-wealthy and the rest of society is undeniable and poses risks to social cohesion. A mandated charitable contribution is a fair way for society's greatest beneficiaries to reinvest in its foundations, such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, which often need charitable support. Imagine the impact of consistent funding. Regular, mandated donations could provide a stable, predictable stream for charities, allowing for long-term planning and more effective solutions. This contrasts sharply with the unpredictable nature of voluntary philanthropy, however well-intentioned it might be. Regarding liberty concerns, I see this not as a punitive measure, but as a fundamental civic responsibility for those with extraordinary means. It's comparable to progressive taxation, but with funds directly channeled to address social needs, reinforcing the societal contract. This ensures that those who have gained the most also contribute systematically to the collective good, fostering a more balanced and just society for everyone involved.
Thank you, Sarah. While the intention behind proposing mandatory donations from millionaires might seem noble, I believe it fundamentally infringes upon individual economic freedom and property rights. Individuals must retain the autonomy to decide if, when, and to whom they donate their lawfully earned money. Philanthropy should be a voluntary act of generosity, not a state-enforced requirement. Mandating such contributions sets a concerning precedent for dictating the use of private wealth beyond established taxation systems. We must also consider potential economic drawbacks. Such a policy could trigger capital flight, as individuals might move assets to jurisdictions with more favorable policies. It could also reduce investment or disincentivize wealth creation if entrepreneurs feel their assets are subject to arbitrary claims, even for good causes. Furthermore, is a mandated allocation truly more efficient than the strategic choices made by individual philanthropists, who are often deeply engaged with specific causes they understand well? We must acknowledge the significant contributions already made through voluntary philanthropy. Many millionaires are incredibly generous, supporting diverse causes with passion and insight. Encouraging this spirit of giving through incentives and fostering a pervasive culture of philanthropy is, in my view, a more effective and ethically sound approach than compulsion.
Ms. Hayes rightfully emphasizes individual liberty. However, liberty isn't absolute, particularly when extreme wealth disparity exists and societal needs are pressing. In such contexts, balancing individual rights with collective responsibilities becomes paramount. The societal need for resources can justify certain limitations on the financial autonomy of the wealthiest. Regarding economic disincentives, a reasonably set fixed amount, perhaps a small percentage of wealth above a high threshold, is unlikely to significantly deter wealth creation or investment. The social stability and enhanced human capital resulting from these contributions would ultimately benefit the economy. A stable society, supported by these funds, is good for business. And while voluntary philanthropy is commendable, its current scale is often insufficient to address the magnitude of challenges, like systemic poverty or environmental crises. Mandated contributions could establish a reliable baseline of support that voluntary efforts can then supplement.
Dr. Miller highlights a moral obligation. While many affluent individuals feel and act on this, codifying such an obligation into law is a problematic step. Whose morality dictates the law in this instance? The state's role should not extend to enforcing private altruism. This blurs the line between public duty and personal conscience. He also expands, quote, civic duty beyond established taxation, which funds public services decided by elected representatives. Mandated donations to private charities lack this democratic oversight and accountability. Then there are the practicalities. Who determines eligible charities? How would this be administered without significant bureaucracy or potential for political interference in fund distribution? This could lead to less efficient outcomes than donor-directed giving, where passion and specific knowledge often lead to more impactful philanthropy. The risk of misallocation is considerable.
Dr. Miller, how would your fixed amount be determined fairly, avoid economic pitfalls, and ensure transparent oversight?
A small, progressive percentage on wealth above a very high threshold, say $20 million, seems fair. An independent, nonpartisan body with full transparency would oversee collection and distribution to eligible charities, based on clear, publicly available criteria. This ensures effectiveness and aims to prevent capital flight by being a modest, predictable amount.
Ms. Hayes, if voluntary donations are insufficient as wealth concentrates, what alternatives do you propose for the wealthy to contribute more beyond standard taxes?
We should significantly enhance tax incentives for donations, making generosity more rewarding. Promoting strong corporate social responsibility and fostering a pervasive culture of philanthropy through education and recognition are also key. These methods encourage substantial giving without resorting to compulsion and respecting individual choice.
Dr. Miller, how would your proposal address concerns about bureaucracy and ensure funds are used effectively, not politically steered?
The independent oversight body would operate under a strict charter, funding charities with proven impact in vital sectors. Mandatory public reporting, regular independent audits, and clear, non-political criteria for fund allocation would ensure efficiency and prevent misdirection.
Ms. Hayes, Dr. Miller cites insufficient voluntary efforts for large-scale needs. How do you counter the ethical argument for a mandate on the vastly wealthy?
While ethical responsibility is undeniable for the wealthy, a mandate depersonalizes giving and risks inefficiency. True altruism, driven by personal conviction and diverse passions, is more impactful. The focus should be on inspiring and enabling this, not on legal enforcement.
A final brief exchange. Dr. Miller?
Inspiration is valuable, but unmet needs demand reliable funding. A mandate provides a stable floor for societal support. Voluntary efforts can then build significantly upon that foundation.
Ms. Hayes?
That stable floor, achieved through compulsion, could erode individual liberty and lead to bureaucratic waste. Encouraging diverse, voluntary philanthropy harnesses passion and direct engagement far more effectively than any centralized mandate can.
In closing, vast wealth accumulation is deeply connected to societal structures and resources. This brings a profound social responsibility to contribute back meaningfully. Mandated contributions acknowledge this, ensuring systematic reinvestment in the common good. This approach offers consistent, reliable support for critical social programs, addressing needs more predictably than voluntary efforts alone. Let us envision a society where our most successful members systematically help uplift everyone, strengthening social safety nets and expanding opportunities. This moves beyond ad hoc generosity towards a more equitable future. This isn't about penalizing success, but about fostering a society where prosperity is more broadly shared and sustained.
In my concluding remarks, I re-emphasize the paramount importance of individual liberty, economic freedom, and the right to choose one's philanthropic path. These are cornerstones of a free society. Mandatory donations, despite good intentions, risk economic distortions, bureaucratic inefficiency, and the erosion of genuine altruism, which thrives on voluntary choice, not coercion. True charity stems from personal conviction and compassion. The diverse passions behind voluntary giving fuel remarkable achievements that a centralized mandate could stifle. Let us instead foster an even stronger culture of voluntary giving, driven by conscience. This is the most ethical and effective path to a genuinely charitable society, respecting freedom while encouraging generosity.
Thank you, Dr. Miller and Ms. Hayes, for your compelling arguments and passionate defense of your positions on this complex issue. Tonight highlighted the tension between society's desire for greater equity and support for the needy against the principles of individual liberty and economic freedom. We encourage our audience to reflect on these varied approaches to philanthropy and social responsibility. Thank you for joining Crosscurrents.